Howdy! How's everybody out there in YouTube land today? I hope it finds you well. Lord have mercy. I thought I'd do a little catch-up video because this week has been unreal. I had to cancel the Mind Equals Blown live stream that I did with Matt last night because I was up to my keister, well, even further than that, up to my neck in people and trying to deal with the house and all that's been going on. For those of you that don't follow me on Facebook and don't know what's happening, let me fill you in. I can't make this stuff up. This is how my life goes. My life is just one chapter after the next. If I can't make this stuff up. Wednesday afternoon. Now this starts just like all the rest of my stories start. And it's true. I was sitting in my house tending to my own business when a tree fell on my house. A little storm come through. It wasn't even a big storm. You know, a little lightning, a little thunder, but it wasn't any frog strangler kind of thing going on. And I heard the lightning, I heard the thunder, and I thought, well, that's kind of close. And about that time, the whole house shook. I didn't know what was going on. I jumped up. I thought, something has hit the house. I don't know what it is, but something hit the house. I didn't know if it was raining heifers or what. So I run upstairs. And now, listen, I'm a big girl. I ain't got no business trying to run nowhere. The only time I have any business trying to run is if I'm chasing a golf cart that's got a Twinkie dragon behind it. So I run upstairs to see if the upstairs is still on the house. It is. Everything looks fine. Doesn't look like anything. But when I look out the window, all I can see is tree. It's just leaves. I can't see nothing but tree. Can't see across the street. Can't see nothing. I'm like, oh, holy smoke. There was a couple trees that sit between the sidewalk and the street out there in the city's right of way that they need to be taken down for a long time. It's the city's responsibility to see to that, but, they appear to be a little negligent. And I thought, well, one of them trees apparently come down, so I go trying to figure out how bad this is. And I run back down the stairs. By the time I get to the front door, I'm totally out of breath. I was about to pass out. I get the front door open, and all I can see is tree. I can't see off the porch. I can't see nothing. So I thought, well, we got a problem. And I step out on the porch a little bit and look up at the corner of the house. Or let's put it this way, where the corner of the house used to be. Because now the gutters are hanging off the house and part of the roof's missing. The soffits are laying on the porch. The downspouts down. Everything's tore up. And I glance over to my left where my privacy fence starts. And the top of the tree is now where the privacy fence used to be. I can't even tell how many sections has been tore out of the tree because I can't see past tree. All I can see is tree. Well, I'm going to have to call the insurance company. I've never had to file a claim, but I guess there's always a first time. Making me really happy that I had paid the premium because I was really tempted not to do it the last time it came because it had gone way up. But I thought, well, the first time you don't pay it, it's the first time you're going to need it. You better get paying it. So I paid it, and thankfully I did. I called the insurance company. The insurance company says, well, let's get a file going on this. Let's get a claim filled out here. And I told them, I said, I've never been through this before. I don't know. Who am I supposed to call about that tree? And I told them where it's sitting. They said, well, it sounds like it's the city's. You're going to have to get in touch with somebody at the city. I would start by calling the city police department. They know who to tell you to call. So I did. I called the city police department. The dispatcher says, yes, you need to talk to somebody at the street department. Here's the phone number. So I call there, and I get the mayor's secretary on the phone. And I told her where I lived, told her who it was, said, somebody going to need to come and collect your tree because it's in my house. And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, the tree fell into the house. I don't know how much clearer I can make it to that. I called the insurance company. They told me to call the cops. Cops told me to call you. Somebody from the street department, I guess, needs to come out and collect your tree. And, we'll go from there, see how much damage is done underneath the tree. And she says, well, they've all gone home for the day. They won't be able to get to it till tomorrow. And she says, but I think you probably need to take some pictures because somebody was just down your street there and there wasn't no problem. And about that time, somebody's beating on the door, and so I go to the door. It's fellas that live candy corner across the street. Their tree'd come down too. Now, it had landed in the church parking lot, so, it hadn't landed on any houses. And they wanted to make sure I was okay or see if I was dead yet or, I don't know. But I said, well, yeah, I'm still kicking. I'm a little shook up by all this, but, it is what it is. So I get back to the phone, and that gal saying, yeah, there's nothing wrong over there. I said, well, my suggestion is that you put your butt in your car and you come over here and take a look because there's a tree in my house. I can't make this up. I wouldn't make it up if I wanted to. What would be the point? But there's a tree in my house. And she says, well, you need to take some pictures. And I said, oh, I'll be taking some pictures. I said, because I'm telling you, it's the city's negligence that's let that tree rot and fall down into my house. I've got $5,000 deductible on my policy because I'm on fixed income. I can't afford much as it is. And I try to keep the premiums as low as I can keep them. And $5,000 is the best you can do, highest that you can go on that deductible to keep the premiums down. I said, now I'm not eating that because the city's been negligent. And they're going to have to come over here and collect their tree. So I make it outside, get around the whole house, up to the front, because you can't get off the porch. And I get some pictures. I'm out there snapping pictures as far as I can snap them. And about that time, the secretary from the mayor's office shows up, gets out of her car all bug-eyed. She says, wow, I can't believe this. Boy, that's a lot of damage. I said, yeah, no kidding. And I said, this is going to be expensive to fix. And she says, well, I'm going to take some pictures. I said, you better get to taking some pictures. The city's going to need some pictures of this because look at their rotten tree. I mean, that tree was rotten all the way through. It was hollow. It was so hollow, the Keebler elves was jumping out of it and taking their cookies with them. So she goes to snapping pictures. I'm snapping pictures. The guy across the street snapping pictures. Everybody's out there snapping pictures. And the insurance guy calls me back and he says, okay, there's going to be an inspector get in touch with you to set an appointment to come out and take a look at it. And he says, if it goes to rain and the ceilings go to leaking, then you need to call us back and we'll get somebody out to tarp the house. I was in such shock that, this wasn't even really registering to me at this point. I'm just glad to be alive. And I needed a little time to be absorbing everything that was happening to me. So he says, you need to get some estimates on what all needs to be repaired. And I said, well, I can't even do that until this tree's out here. I can't see what all's damaged. I can see part of it, the part of the roof's missing and privacy fence been smashed and it fell into another tree out here in the yard. That tree's going to have to come down. And I don't know how much of the landscaping has been destroyed or, what's going on with this until we get the tree out. And he says, well, the city should take care of that. We'll just move on from there. The next morning, which was yesterday morning, started out at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting all my ducks in a row, who all I was needing to call for estimates and everything lined up. And it was long about 8 o'clock, the city shows up with a whole bunch of trucks. The fire department shows up, and there's a bulldozer and all kinds of things. I'm thinking, okay, they're going to clean this up. They're going to get this out of here. And I step out on the front porch, and they look just all these guys from the city, and they're matching T-shirts and stuff standing around out there, and they see me walk out there, and ain't none of them going to speak to me. Oh, well. Okay, I guess, you're getting your plan of action together. While you're getting your act together here, I'll go in and make some phone calls. I'll check on you a little bit. So I come in, I make a few phone calls and step back out on the porch. And at this point, the head honcho, or the one that acted like he was the head honcho, is in the bucket truck in the bucket. He's up in my yard sawing on my tree that their tree had fell into. And I thought, well, I guess, they're going to take that down now because it's been damaged bad. And he doesn't want to talk to me. Nobody was wanting to talk to me. They're all just, kind of giving me the evil eye and turning their heads. So I come back in, I make a few more phone calls, and I thought, okay, somebody's going to have to talk to me because I need to know when they plan to have this done. Are they going to take my tree out? What's happening with all this? So I step out on the porch, and one was close enough to the porch so I got his attention. I said, hey, I got some questions about this. And he says, well, what do you want to know? And I said, well, first of all, I'd like to know, are you going to take that pine tree down because it's knocked the top out of it and tore it up? And he says, oh, no. Now, they'd been sawing on it. Keep in mind, they'd been sawing on this tree with a chainsaw from the bucket truck. But they're not going to take it down. And I said, you're not going to take it down? He says, well, no. He says, that's your problem. It's your tree. It's on your property. And I said, well, okay. I said, what about the other tree that sits out there in the right-of-way? Are you going to take that down too? And he says, oh, we won't worry about that until this winter sometime when we're not busy. I said, well, there's supposed to be some more storms moving through. It lands on my house. I guess you'll come back to remove it. And he just kind of shrugged and, nonchalant. And then about that time he says to me, oh, by the way, we took your mailbox off. And I had not noticed that. Now, I noticed the night before my mailbox was still standing, and I was impressed because I thought with all the damage that's been done, the poor little mailbox is still standing out there. And so I look out, and my mailbox is gone. Post, everything is gone. And I said, where is my mailbox? And he points across the street. They had sawed off the post from the ground, and then they'd sawed off the post from the mailbox, took my mailbox, threw it in the yard across the street, which had a couple days' mail in it, because I had not been able to collect the mail because I couldn't get off the porch. I said, what'd you do with my mail? He said, well, I guess it's still in there. I was seeing red. I said, go get my mailbox and put it back up here on my porch. So he trots across the street, he gets it, he comes back up and puts it on the porch. And I said, when are you planning to fix this? I mean, like I don't have enough things that have to be dealt with. You're out here tearing up more. When are you going to fix the mailbox? He says, well, it'll probably be sometime next week. We got a lot to do. We're busy. I said, oh, I'm not busy. I didn't have anything else to do except deal with one of your trees falling in my yard because of your negligence. I mean, I was aggravated. I'm still aggravated, and rightfully so, because they're not taking any responsibility for their actions. And he says, well, it's going to be taken care of when we get around to it, is all I can tell you. I was so mad I couldn't even cope anymore. I just came back in the house. I thought, well, I guess they'll clean this up. They had their bulldozer out there, and they're bulldozing up. See, there's like a 2-foot rise from the sidewalk up into my yard with a little stone wall, and they had their bulldozer up there over the wall, raking logs and stuff out of the yard. So I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna get the rest of this out of here. I go making a few phone calls, and it was about, 15, 20 minutes later, I look out the front door, they're gone. Their trucks are gone, the fire department's gone, the bulldozer's gone, bucket truck's gone, they're gone, everything's gone, and there couldn't be anything more gone. There's nothing there, except the tree in my yard. So, got the phone, called back up to the mayor's office, got their answering machine. I said, somebody needs to tell me where these fellers went and when they're going to get this tree out of my yard. Because the insurance company's supposed to have somebody coming out to tarp the roof. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. And they need the tree gone so they can get ladders up the house to get the tarp up. She called me back about an hour later and said, oh, I just got your message. I don't know what the hell she's been doing all this time. She said, I just got your message. She says, they're not coming back. I said, what do you mean they're not coming back? She says, well, the tree is down in your yard. It's your problem. I said, it's your tree. She says, well, now, it's not the city's tree. It's just a tree that was in the right-of-way. And I said, okay, you can argue semantics all day long, But the bottom line is the tree was in the right of way, and that means that it was the city's responsibility to see that the tree was healthy enough to keep standing or take it down. They were negligent in their duties. That tree was as holler as it could be. We've all got pictures of it. We've all got proof of it. Their negligence caused a tree to fall into my house, and the city needs to get out here and clean this up. Well, it's your responsibility. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I may have to pay to get the tree removed. But the city's going to end up paying to reimburse me on all this because I'm not eating $5,000 in deductible on my insurance policy for something that was not my fault, that could have been prevented by the city. So you guys can do this the easy way and just get out here and get somebody to clean this up, or we can do it the hard way and I'll pay somebody to get this out of here. Better hope there's no more damage to the house because of rain coming in. I can't get anybody up to tarp the roof because the bills are mounting. And she said, well, I don't know why you're so mad at me. I said, I'm mad at all of you. I'm not singling you out. I said, you're all sticking together and not taking responsibility for what you need to be taking responsibility for. So I get off of there. I call the insurance man back. I told him what was going on. He says, well, look, at this point, we can't get anybody out there till Monday to tarp. He says, you're going to have to call a roofer. I'm looking at the weather while I'm talking to him. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The rain was scheduled to move in at 5 p.m. I've got like a 4-hour window to get somebody out here to tarp the roof, and they can't get to it because the tree has to be sawed up and moved out of the way. I still can't get off the front porch because the tree. I have to chuckle because what's the alternative? But I can't make this up. So I get on the phone. I start trying to call roofers, and then can't get nobody on the phone. It's the middle afternoon. They're all out working. And so I called up a buddy of mine. I said, look, I don't know what to do. I said, rain's supposed to be moving in, and that's going to flood the attic and the upstairs of the house. And I just don't know what to do. And he says, okay. He says, let me deal with something here. I'll call you right back. So a few minutes later, he calls me back. He says, okay, me and some other guys taking off work. We're going to come over there with some flatbeds, chainsaws. We're going to go to work on this. We're going to tarp your roof, and we're going to get the tree out of there. I said, all right. So they got here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They all worked out there until 9 o'clock at night. They got most of the tree out until the chainsaw blades wore out. They got the roof tarped. And we called it a day. We was all about to die. But wow, here is just an amazing thing. And like I say, I can't make this up. It's sweltering heat. There's a heat advisory in effect. The humidity was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Sweat pouring off of all of us. And as we're dealing with this, people kept driving by the house on the street and pretty much stopping their vehicles. It was always a man behind the wheel, different car, different man every time. It's about every 15 minutes somebody do this, and they'd be pointing and laughing. I'm like, what is there to point and laugh about? It's a tree down in a yard and a bunch of people that's sweating and dying out here trying to get this mess cleaned up and get a tarp on the house before things get ruined. I don't see the humor. And what there is, they never talked to any of us. They never, stopped and said anything. Just point and laugh. So finally, I said to these fellas that was working out here, I said, who are these people that keep doing this? And one of the guys says, they work for the city. Some of them are cops, some of them are firemen. I said, oh, so they all think this is a big joke. That here I am, senior citizen, on a fixed income, and they've screwed me by leaving this tree out here hoping that my house would be ruined. They think it's that funny, do they? This mess was so bad that if I had had chest pains or going through any signs of having a stroke or anything, The EMTs couldn't even got to me. They couldn't have got up to up to the porch, much less across the porch, to get me out of here. This was a liability. But the city guys all just went point and laugh. So that's what I've been dealing with. I've been trying to gather up estimates on what all it's going to take to fix this. There's still a tree in my yard, but at least the house is tarped. The guys are coming back on Sunday. They all had to work today, and they've all got various things to do tomorrow, but they're coming back Sunday to try to get the rest of the tree out of the yard and start trying to do a few repairs around here. Get some railings on the sidewalk steps so that I can get up and down without killing myself out there. And they're going to try to put my mailbox back up for me, since the city, the only thing they seem to be able to do is saw it off. They couldn't saw off the stump out there. The stump is all jagged and ragged, and there's pictures of it there on my Facebook page if you want to take a look at them. But yeah, that's that's what I've been going through. That's why I had to cancel the show last night, because I was trying to get that tree out of here. And hopefully things will go better next week. Like I always say, we'll be on if the Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, and both of them happened this week. The Lord wasn't willing and the creeks was rising, and trees were falling into my house. That's what's been going on. I've had some people that don't follow me on Facebook that's been asking some questions about, well, what happened to you? Well, where's our heifer havens and this and that. Listen, I'm lucky even just to be alive. When that tree came down, I was on the first floor, right underneath where it hit on the second floor. If it had hit the house dead on, it would have cut right through it like a knife, and I'd be flatter than a pancake right now. That'd make everybody at the city really happy, because they wouldn't have to fight with me over this, but hey, I'm living to fight another day. So, there you go. That's the story of the tree falling into my house thus far. Monday, the insurance guy shows up. Hopefully, I've got everything I need to hand him in the estimate department, and we go from there. And then I've made it real clear to my insurance people that they are to collect the money, including the deductible from the city. I will settle for nothing less than every penny of this be reimbursed by the city. And if they can't get it collected, I'm going to go after them. And when I go after them, it's not just going to be for the damages out here. We're going to start going for duress, because nobody should have to suffer this, especially a senior citizen. You shouldn't be locked up in your house that you can't even get off the porch. You can't get EMTs to you if you needed them. You can't get up and down your steps. Your mailbox getting sawed off for no good reason out there, with no hope of when it's ever going to be replaced, because they're busy. That shouldn't even be in their vocabulary. They're paid for what they do. They're not supposed to be there as an inconvenience to the citizens that are paying their taxes to pay the salaries of these fools. So yeah, I don't get mad very often. I'm a pretty easy person to get along with. But I don't take a bunch of shit either. So there you have it. I hope you all been having a better week than I'm having, and we'll be back next Thursday, Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise, with an episode of Mind Equals Blown. I'll try to get a heifer haven up in the next few days if I can, but understand that I'm dealing with an awful lot here, and I'm doing it all by myself. I'm the David, and they're the Goliath, but I got a big slingshot. So, y'all have a good one, and we'll be talking to you soon. Bye.